So you feel like you're behind, like everyone else is far ahead of you and you're chasing their shadows. Or maybe you're carrying the weight of expectations on your back from your family, from society, and most importantly from yourself. Well, I've been in your position and I'm making this video to speak directly to you as I wish someone would have spoken to me. So many of us have this storm that's brewing inside of us where we have this mixture of anxiety, fear, frustration, and anger, which leads to a lot of us falling into the many traps that society has laid out for us. And I want to help you through your journey by sharing my experiences. So that's what I'm going to do. So first, let's tackle what you're afraid of, because you are afraid. You live in fear. You're afraid of failure. You're afraid of not being good enough. You're afraid of being rejected. And most of all, you're afraid of living. This is something I had to really sit down with myself and acknowledge that I was allowing fear to rule my life. I was allowing fear to make my decisions for me. I remember when I finished university and I was, dropped into the real world. And I realized very quickly that I was not equipped to survive. I was paralyzed by fear, the fear of not being good enough, the fear of being perceived as a failure because I couldn't get a job after uni for a long time. And I would sit at home, scrolling on social media, looking at all my friends, making money, getting apartments, going for work drinks with their new friends. And I would sit there and judge myself. I would sit there and disassociate. I would sit there and distract myself with gaming, porn, anything to take my mind off me perceiving myself as a failure. And I'm sure you can relate to this. I'm sure there's a part of you that has felt this way, where you're just constantly comparing yourself to people's highlight reels, because that is what it is on social media. No one's sharing, when they're on the toilet doing a shit. No one's sharing when when they're sick and they're in bed. No one's sharing when they've had a bad day. People just share, the little highlights of their life, and then we all absorb it like it's just someone's regular day. But once I understood that fear was a choice that I was making, I was choosing to live in fear because it was more comfortable than accepting that I was the master of my life and I was in control. Because that is really scary. Having to accept that, okay, I can choose what I do. I don't have to do the things that I've been programmed to do. I don't have to view the world that I've been viewing it. Because what that does is that it forces you to have to start with a clean slate. It forces you to look at things slightly differently. It forces you to take a second look at things that you would judge instinctively. Because the biggest fear that we have as humans is the fear of the unknown. We fear that we do not know. And this is prevalent in any sort of society across history. We've always feared what we do not understand. And as humans, our understanding is extremely limited. All we know is what we've experienced and what we've been told. And that is a very, very small percentage of reality. If reality even is a thing. But maybe that's a topic for another video. But you have to overcome this fear of the unknown by doing exactly what you don't want to do. Stepping into the unknown. I can barely speak English right now. You have to step forward with courage. You have to choose courage over fear. You have to choose doing the hard thing over doing the easy thing. You have to. If you don't, you're going to be exactly where you are right now forever. You will not move until you step with the courage to get through the fear, to get through that really tough time where you're not sure how it's going to go. Because the truth is, you're never going to know how things are going to go. And that's something you have to accept. Because courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is action despite being afraid. And that's something I wasn't aware of. I thought people that were courageous just didn't have any fear and they just didn't really give a fuck, and they were just, cool. They were just like built like that. And it wasn't until I became someone who was actually able to be courageous that I realized courage is just simply being afraid but doing it anyway. And that's something I think anyone can do, including you, believe it or not. But before you can step out into your comfort zone, you have to accept that you are afraid. You have to accept and acknowledge that you have been living in fear. And this is one of the hardest parts, because you have to literally accept that your ego has been your enemy. Your ego, your self-talk, your self-dialogue that's been trying to protect you, has been trying to protect you from experiences that are going to benefit you. And that's a hard pill to swallow. Because this is a dialogue that you've got so accustomed to. Because it's a dialogue that's been with you through all the tough times, through all the good times. And understanding that, that dialogue isn't as trustworthy as you thought it was. It's almost like losing your best friend or your girl cheating on you. Maybe that's a bit dramatic, but you know what I mean. So if you've got a pen and pad or something to write down, I really do suggest you write this part down. The action I want you to take is to take a moment to reflect. I want you to get used to reflecting. Get used to sitting in your emotion instead of acting or trying to disassociate or run from it. I want you to sit in it, experience it. And I want you to ask yourself, what fear is holding me back right now? Because once you name this fear, its power is removed because you can see it. When it's all in your brain and you haven't put a name to it, it's a lot harder to actually pinpoint where this fear is coming from. But once you name it, you've got it down. Now you've got a goal. You've got something to work towards. Now let's talk about some of the desires that I know you definitely have. Because as men, a lot of our desires have been hardwired into us through our upbringing, through society, and just through the media that we consume. So I'm sure some of your desires are, you probably have the desire to feel valued and respected, financial freedom, probably the desire to, find love, to find a partner, and to build confidence. However, the way that a lot of us try and attain these things is usually, not to our benefit. Because as humans, we are lazy. We want to get the best thing possible with the least amount put in. Because for years, I used to, chase things that I thought would bring me closer to these desires. Things that I thought would, make me happy. I would be chasing, women, chasing casual sex, chasing validation from, both women and from guys, and just wanting to feel like people liked me. I really wanted people to like me. And that was because I did not like myself. Like literally the main reason that I started working out, other than obviously just to not be a skinny little shit, was because I wanted people to respect me more. I'll be honest. I wanted people to respect me more. I wanted people to look at me and, I wouldn't say fear me, but to be like, okay, I'm not going to mess with him. And that's something that I've had to really acknowledge that has pushed me through a lot of things. My desire to, have some sort of respect. But I had to understand again that regardless of how many people respected me externally, what matters the most is your self-respect. How much do you respect yourself? Because at the end of the day, when all the people that are saying, oh yeah, hey big man, or yeah, I'm trying to be like you, or oh yeah, you look really good. When these people are gone and it's just you by yourself, how do you treat yourself? How do you talk to yourself? Do you actually respect yourself? Or are you just relying on other people to boost your fragile ego? Because for a time, yes, that was me. I was Mr. Fragile. I would, act like nothing fazed me, act like I didn't care about anyone's opinions, but I would remember every single horrible thing that anyone's ever said to me. I used to just play it back in my head. Anytime I thought someone even kind of disrespected me or kind of rubbed me the wrong way, I remember it. And it would drive me for a while, but I'll be honest, it can't drive you that far because there's a point where you have to just let it go. You have to let go of this resentment that you have, I'm sure you do, to the people that, you want to get revenge on, that maybe treated you badly in the past. Get over it. It doesn't matter anymore. What matters is your relationship with yourself today. Do you respect yourself? Do you value yourself? Do you believe you're someone who deserves respect? That's what matters. And I had to learn the hard way, years of just chasing validation, that the real fulfillment comes from knowing who you are and living in alignment with your values. That is it. The most confident people that you know, these are people that even without the external validation that I'm sure they get, they are proud of themselves because they are living in alignment with who they want to be. That is how you build true confidence. You back up who you say you are. So if you're feeling a bit lost right now and you don't know, how to get closer to your desires and your wants and your goals, I want you to ask yourself this one question. And it's simple, it's just for today. What is one thing that I can do today that aligns with the life that I want to build? I'll say that again. What's one thing that I can do today that aligns with the life that I want to build? This is a question you need to be asking yourself constantly. What am I doing on a daily basis that aligns with the type of person I want to be? Be honest with yourself right now. If there's nothing that you're doing right now that aligns with your goals in the long term and who you want to be, it is time to reevaluate your life. It is time to reevaluate your choices. What are you doing? This is the one life we get. Why are you wasting it on things you don't care about? Because for me, one of the things I make sure I do almost on a daily basis is make these videos. Because this is something that really does align with the type of person I want to be. I want to be the type of person who's able to help people. I want to be the type of person that's an example for people. I want to be the type of person that is an example of the type of person that I needed when I was in these positions. And when I record these videos, when I make the content I make, when I do the calls that I do, the one-to-one calls, when I make my ebooks, all of this kind of stuff, it validates me way more than anyone else's words ever can. And I really do hope that you have this feeling one day, because I wouldn't trade this for anything. I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't. So as we all know, life is full of frustrations and difficult moments. And we often ask ourselves, why does life feel so hard? Why does it feel so hard for me to do the things I know I need to do? Because you're told to man up, you're told to just lock in, you're told to just figure it out, to succeed at everything you do, to, just be the guy. But it's all while you're hiding how you're actually feeling. And that pressure that you're putting yourself under right now is exhausting. And you can say that, it's pressure from other people as well, and I'm sure it is, but the pressure you're putting on yourself is exhausting, and it's causing you to crash out. It's causing you to, be so addicted to all these things because they help you kind of relieve this pressure that you're putting yourself under. And again, this is something I had to realize for myself. I put so much pressure on myself that it would lead me to finding, coping mechanisms to deal with this pressure that I was putting myself under. That's why I was so attracted to, gaming, to porn, to just chasing validation, to just distracting myself, scrolling. It's all to alleviate a bit of stress, alleviate a bit of, just to give us a break of the thoughts that are in our mind that are plaguing us. And it's not until I realized I had to stop running from my thoughts. I had to change my thoughts. I had to become a friend with this inner voice. I had to become like a friend with this inner dialogue. Because I've had so many days where I feel like I'm just running in circles, like I'm just doing the same thing. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not getting any closer to my goals. And, I'm just trying to meet everyone else's expectations of what I should do. And it's very exhausting. It is. But something that's really helped me is understanding that a lot of this frustration comes from me comparing myself to where I believe I should be, or to who I believe I should be, or to who I, believe I should be on par with, whatever that means. Because a lot of us, although we don't want to admit it openly, we compare ourselves so much. We get on social media, we see, all these celebrities, all these people that are doing great things, and in our brain we think, that should be me. Why isn't that me? What am I doing wrong? Why am I so stupid? Why can't I do... See, and before you know, you're just in a cycle. You're just tormenting yourself. And to what end? Where does that lead you? Does it lead you anywhere productive? Most of the time, not. It does not. It leads you to escapism, because you try and run away from these thoughts. Instead, you need to compare yourself, where you are today, to where you were yesterday. Maybe not exactly yesterday, but where you were last year, last month, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. If you have to, literally go through your phone and look at pictures of yourself, like how you were a couple of years ago, and try and remember how you felt during these times. If you're not proud of where you are now compared to where you are then, that's a sign that you need to change something. That you need to really take this shit seriously. Because progress doesn't need to be, really massive to be important and meaningful. Small, consistent changes create the life that you want. I'll say it again, small but consistent changes will create the life you want. All it takes is you showing up. Keep showing up for yourself. Whether you feel like it or not, show up. Oh, but I just got dumped. Show up. Oh, but my friends aren't talking to me right now. Show up. Oh, but I got bad grades. Show up. Keep showing up. That's the secret. So here's just a couple of things I want to leave you with. I want you to write down one fear and how you'll face it. I want you to reflect on one desire and take a small step towards it. And I want you to stop comparing yourself to others and start focusing on your own journey. And lastly, I just want to remind you that you're not alone on this. As you can tell, I'm someone right here with you. Every day is a struggle and a fight against, the person you used to be and the person you want to be. We are all in this fight together. So reach out to each other, reach out to me whenever you need to. We're here to help each other. Why else are we here on this planet? We're living a shared experience. So let's share our stories. Because every guy out there, whether you think they're, balling and they're living the best life possible or they're losing, everyone is struggling. Everyone has battles. They might not tell you about it, but everyone has battles. Just know that you are stronger than you think and you are capable of more than you know. So lastly, if this did resonate with you, I'd really appreciate if you do leave me a comment and let me know what you found valuable. Yeah, I really want to create a community here where like-minded people can really, come together and help each other out any way we can. Or just leave some funny comments. Honestly, I appreciate that as well. And yeah, if you do want some help on your journey to kind of becoming a better person and growing and healing from your past experiences, I have created an ebook which should be in my bio, and I honestly believe it is extremely valuable. It's all the things that I wish I knew when I started my journey, and I think it will definitely help you out. And if you do want to talk to me one-on-one, I do have slots for consultations. The link to that is also in my bio, so check it out. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys. I appreciate you guys, and I'll speak to you next time. Bye bye.